And we are now joined by our close friend of the show, Lil Wayne. Thank you so much for joining us today. And congrats on the success of your new radio show.
Thank you.
Even getting Skip talking, which is always a good sign. Skip, I'm going to hand this over your way.
Yeah. Hey, we appreciate you being with us again today.
What's up, Skip? What's up, Unc?
Good morning.
I'm good, nephew.
Yeah. Hey, let me begin by framing what I'm about to ask you about. You grew up in what's called the Holly Grove neighborhood of New Orleans, which was patrolled by cops that you used to refer to as jump out boys because they had their doors cracked, ready to jump out and sometimes jump on black people for no apparent reason.
But they ain't have no other people around.
You got it. But you told last Friday a story on your new radio show, which is tremendous, but you told a story about one white cop who wasn't the usual bad white cop. One white cop who became a lifesaver for you. So take it away and tell us the story, if you would, please.
Okay, yeah. There's a cop in New Orleans. I referred to him as Uncle Bob. When I was 12 years old, I had an incident. I shot myself. I was in the house alone. When the police came to the door, I was able to slide all the way to the door, kick the door so they can hear that someone is actually in the apartment because I thought they left. I heard them knocking on the door, like asking somebody in there, but then they stopped. So I said, I got to get to this door. I kicked the door. They was like, someone's in there. They knocked the door off the hinges. I was right there on the floor. They all just jumped right over me. That's their job, I guess, and did what they had to do. And so one guy ran. He ran. Everybody just running up to, running up, meeting me at the door and jumping over. The one guy came. He was like, do nobody see this child? Do nobody see this baby on the floor with this hole in his chest? And it was like, yes, but I found the gun. I found it. He was like, I don't care what you found, somebody. And so all I could remember was him just grabbing me. He was like, they was like, we got an ambulance. He was like, I'm not waiting for no ambulance. And then he put me in a car. He got me there. That's Uncle Bob's story when that happened. Now, what I want people to know is I have a father. His name is Baby. Some people call him Birdman, Stun or whatever. Uncle Bob been a policeman in New Orleans. And something I found out that I didn't have to tell everybody, but I tell them now. Uncle Bob is the same police, same cop that put my father in jail for years. I found that out by Baby seeing who Uncle Bob was and being like, wait, that's Uncle Bob? And I'm like, yeah, that's Uncle Bob. Why, you know him? And seeing how Uncle Bob react about Baby. So I sit down and talk to Baby, but he said, let me tell you something about him. He said, now that I see who you're talking about, that this story doesn't surprise me. He said, because that guy always treated us like we were his sons. So when he would come, if he chasing after, he's not about to bring us to jail. He's about to chase us down and scold us and take whatever we have on us. But if it's the 39th time, we going to jail. And so he was like, but he always had a heart. He said, and also he saw me years later when I became who I am, Birdman, in the mall. He was a mall security. He said, I walked past him and he stopped me and he just wanted to tell me, you may not remember who I am. He said, but I told him, I remember who you are. He said, but I just want to know I'm happy to see you turned out to be what you turned out to be and who and how. How I told Baby, I know you're not lying, is because when I saw Uncle Bob years later in the restaurant and found out and walked up to him and said, hey, he said, listen, I don't want you to pay for my meal. I don't want you to do nothing. I don't need anything. I'm just happy to see you turned out to be who you are and how you are. Now, that's Uncle Bob's story and everything, and that's my story, and that's Baby's story. People taking it, flipping it, and saying I'm this and I'm that and that. but I can't do too much about it, but live my story.
So do you believe he saved your life? Do you think you would have bled to death?
Oh,
yeah.
I know he saved my life. What I found out once I spoke to him years later, I found out was there was EMT there. And he said when he got there, they had told him that they tried 3 times. And he said that was some kind of procedure, I guess, up there is that if you try 3 times, that's it. He said, but he saw life in me. And for me to remember all the things that I told him, he was like, well, obviously you were there. He's like, because all the things you're saying happened. He's like, we didn't know you knew that was happening, that you knew what was going on. But like I said, he said they tried 3 times. He refused to live with that.
I think the thing is that I think people have heard you say, well, there's no racism. And you're looking at it from a perspective like, okay, there's good cops. And it seems like you're willing to give, like, there are good cops the benefit of the doubt. But it seems like on the other side, they're unwilling to say they're good black people. It seems to me like all black men are being treated like thugs. And they judge us, they judge one of our bad apples, they paint that whole brush over the entire race, where you was willing to give like, nah, all of them aren't bad. One actually saved my life. Where you were willing to give them that courtesy, they seem to be unwilling to give us courtesy likewise.
But that said, I'm willing to give Uncle Bob that courtesy.
Right.
I wasn't speaking for no one else.
Right.
And I specified that every time I speak about it. I said, that's Uncle Bob's story. That's my story. And that's that. Everything else is what everything it is. And that's all. I mean, people take one thing you say and flip it, so.
And by the way, quick point of order. I had read before that you accidentally shot yourself, but then I heard recently that you intended to shoot yourself at that point at age 12, right?
Yeah, mental health is serious. Yeah, I was a kid going through a lot at the time.
Yep.
I thought I was.
So you see you see what's going on, the George Floyd.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think we're going to finally see the change that Dr. King and so many of our ancestors, they fought for, they marched for, they died behind? Do you think we're finally about to see the change that they never got a chance to see, that we're going to finally get the opportunity to start seeing in 2020 and moving forward?
I think any positive change is still not enough.
Right.
So I'm not sure whatever, if we'll ever accomplish what our ancestors would have loved to see. But I definitely think change is coming. How much change, I don't know.
So, Wayne, obviously a lot of white kids through the years have loved your music and grew up on your music. And Shannon and I keep talking about how many white kids we see at the protests now, marching, demonstrating with their black brothers and sisters. I've never seen anything like this. Could that indicate a turning point, a watershed sort of moment where white America is listening to the evils inflicted upon the black community more than ever? Is that fair to say? Do you sense that?
I think that sight alone speaks to that, Skip. I was in LA last week, and they were protesting outside the room. I looked outside my balcony, and like you said, it was majority, if not white, it wasn't a majority of black people out there. And that right there was, I actually, I stopped and looked, instead of just looking outside that made me stop and say, wow. So I guess, like I said, that's a sight. Not sure how much change is coming, though.
Yep.
We have so much more to get to with Wayne. We appreciate you being here, sharing your story with us, but only appropriate if we ask you about your Packers. They've been in the news lately, so stick around. More Undisputed with Lil Wayne after the break.